Hello, everybody. Good evening. This is Dr. I hope you are all doing well. And I'm starting a new series um, on mental health. This is very important. As you all know, the mental health as a whole is getting worse, and people are really dying from depression, from suicides, and all that. Not only that, but there are general medically healthy people also are kind of not well mentally in terms of their relationships with their loved ones, their job, and their society. And generally, they are not away from the addictive substances and behaviors. And far from being joyful like in the ancient times, people are leading a really miserable existence without really appreciating how valuable the human life is, right? So we see a lot of anxiety, depression in the medical clinic. We see a lot of problems with impulse control, anger control, rage control, so many things like that that are supposed to be civilized behavior is really going on. Alcoholism, drug addiction, and uh, so much of time spent in jail. So many things are coming off from that. So, as a whole, if you really look at the society, mental health is deteriorating, right? And now, added up is this information age where a lot of data, and so people are not having a break. They are kind of addicted to their phones, to the information, to all the information overload, overwhelm, and brain fog. So many problems we know from the information age. So all in all, the mental health in the United States is worsening, and so many more people are mentally not healthy, and they are sometimes don't have enough providers, mental health providers, to go and talk to or to go and get some treatments, right? So I was always interested in how the mental health was when ancient wisdom was really prevalent in Esther years, and then how can we borrow from that? But I also interested in the positive psychology of a psychological field here, and how much it has developed in Europe and Asia and Africa and other countries too. Ancient wisdom was there as a healer of the mental illness for a long, long time, and so many different cultures follow different things. But what I was fascinated about, what I know about the ancient wisdom of India, which brings out the yoga, Ayurveda, and Advaita Vedanta, other systems of philosophy that were very prevalent at the time, and then the more we look at it, the more it comes out as they have really investigated very deep, into what is a human being, what is the interior of the human being, how does the brain work, how does the mind work, is there a mind at all? All those important questions it was investigated. So that was the interest, but also I was very interested in the modern positive psychology, where psychology used to attend only to the very organically ill people, right? So that was taboo, and a lot of people resisted to that and didn't really work that way. But then they kind of took on what the ancient wisdom was always talking about. There is so much positivity in the human being, and we can bring out a lot of positives from that to encounter life's challenges. So that is the inner resilience I talk about all the time. So people are really oriented to that. And if you look at in that perspective of inner resilience, inner strength, and building what is positive, uh, positive psychology has picked up on that. So it's not only treating the organically ill people, but they wanted to instill positive psychology with a lot of people. So, for example, I talk about oneness in this talk about how we are all in one. That is the there's the meaning of uh, Advaita Vedanta. Advaita means not two, only one. So we are all in that energy, and we can see in the positive psychology that is established in the form of we have lifeline through our societies, to our organizations, to our countries, and all that, right? So they come close to that a little bit, and even if you encourage people like you are not alone, the society is there, the structures are there, organizations are there, that you can reach out with a phone call and people will come. All that really standing behind the individual person, that there is the oneness of all is behind you, right? It may not be to the extent the Advaita Vedanta talks about, but at least that the lifeline is there, right? So that's an example. I made a video, and I'm going to give you the YouTube link that you could go and see there. I'm going to paste my YouTube channel link on the Clubhouse, but this is going to run for a while, so I'm going to bring in the text and also the video that I'm working on. But there's one video already made, so you can go and see that too. Let me get that connection for the YouTube channel here and in the Clubhouse. So that's the YouTube channel that I gave to everybody on the Clubhouse, so they can reach out for that. But actual video link also will be given. But if you go to the YouTube channel, it's already published there. So anybody interested, actually my YouTube channel is very simple. My handle is at Rao Kolusu, my name. Okay, so anybody interested on the other channels, they can go in. Okay. So, this is going to be a series of talks that we're going to enjoy, but with a seriousness of finding some answer to the growing problem of mental health in United States. As you combine, integrate both the ancient wisdom and positive psychology, you will see principles of oneness, that is Advaita in Advaita Vedanta, then principle of world is one family, that is Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, and also the principle of calming our superficial mind and really establish ourselves in our true nature. There's a chitta vritti nirodha. All those principles are taken up to some extent in the positive psychology, and they are being really applied for the betterment of people who are having anxieties, who are having depression, who are having hopelessness, who are having loneliness, who are having suicidal tendencies, drug addiction. Many number of illnesses are come under these principles, and I think in the long run people will be benefited by that. uh, See, as a matter of fact, when I was growing up in India and the medical school, I did not see that much of psychiatric illness there. There were bona fide organically ill schizophrenias, or organic psychosis, any number of things like that. But then they were confined to the hospital The psychiatric wing was more like a outpatient. There was no inpatient at the time. And ours is a big hospital because it is a district hospital, very well known, and I had a lot of graduates over the years, and many of those graduates are here in United States working. So we are very popular. That college, happened to be in my hometown, so I had double luck. Not only I got the medical entrance seat, but also I was able to stay with my mom, and well, our house and everything is in the same town. So it was so much easier for me to go to the medical education, right? So when we saw all these other things, like somebody had problems, so there are many problems, right? Lack of money, lack of facilities, even the electricity doesn't come all the time. We used to lose electricity in the middle of studying nighttime, so we had to light up candles, and we studied in the candles, right? So many problems were there, and people were devastated with cyclones, with other things. So there are opportunities for people to become really depressed and anxious and all that. But then there's a huge social net that they have. That's the middle class. All the middle class people were there. The moment you have some problem, all your neighbors are in your house. And then there is nothing like a privacy. There's nothing like a we're going to discuss only with a few. No, everybody came in, and it's a custom, right? And then they really showed genuine concern and friendship, and also suggestions or help also. Suppose you have some problem, somebody have died or somebody went to hospital, they will come and give you all the goodies without fail. Either they have it or not, they will share with you, and they will come and share in your difficulties. That was a huge social net. People did not realize that how important that kind of thing was for them to reach out with that heartfulness, and how healing it was to people who had problems. So, and it's not carried like a stigma afterwards. They kind of sympathized, empathized, and then conveyed the love and affection that they have for you. So it was very, very uh, simple thing. But then that was huge. Many people are in your life, and they're coming there to help you out. And so you felt like I'm not alone. I'm with so many people. I have so many people coming to aid me, right? That's the general feeling you have, and then you don't go up like you are alone. You're don't have anybody with you. And loneliness was very, very rare when I saw in India. So many people have enjoyed that community feeling that was there, not just the words, but then they were genuinely helping you, showing you, even at that moment, the care and concern they felt in their hearts. And you felt it. You kind of know what was going on. Many times, many places in India at the time, not in our place, our place is like one of the affluent cities in the country itself. And we had this big teaching medical. So we have a lot of facilities compared to other places where we visited. Just as they used to take us on camps, medical camps. Then we go there, we go to remote villages and saw how little they have, and they don't have any facilities whatsoever. But they relied on local customs, right? That was there. So many times people succumb to illnesses because they don't have facilities. But one thing they always had was this community, this sense of society, the sense of belonging to a tribe, or something like that. So they always had that support. I believe that helped a lot of middle class Indians to be not go on the deep end for the psychiatric problems, right? That I think we are bringing it back here in the same of this social media, trying to be with some groups, and then trying to explore things and trying to understand each other and all that. But what the beauty about ancient wisdom is, you could be the one person. You could really sit down and turn yourself inward and find that you are with a larger community, in the sense all human beings are in one energy, oneness that is really understood by you exploring yourself inside and then coming with a conclusion. Yeah, I am in this oneness, I'm in this one energy. Okay. That they call at the time tapas. Tapas means um, relentless practice of turning inward and going with intuition and awareness, right? So that's something we can learn now through reading all those translations of the age-old books and all that. But the book knowledge is not going to be your subjective experience. You get to do the spiritual work that is needed, and then eventually you will be uh, not lonely, not anxious, not depressed. On the other hand, you have the possibility of discovering blissful existential thing that is real to you and is not like a hallucination or delusion. I can vouch for that. You once you touch that abundance of blissfulness that you have within you, irrespective of your social status, your literate status, whether you are somebody who is very scholarly or somebody who is who don't know anything, is like a you don't know how to read and write, or you could be very rich or very poor. It doesn't matter. All those things do not matter. What matters is how can you sit down in one place and shut your mind and go inward. See that process there, and then you go into the realm beyond thought where you discover things that's already there in you. It's not somebody is telling you this is so, but you have to experience yourself. Now we call it qualia, right? First hand personal experience that we call it. So ancient wisdom principles understood and then experienced and then put into practice. That's what my goal is to demonstrate to you, and also talk about where positive psychology is making difference for many people. But then for the positive psychology, you need somebody to guide you. But with the other one, you need to discover by yourself. You can somebody can show you the path, but you have to do the all the practice by yourself. Okay, we will talk more detailed about it, as I go into this more and more. Okay, so this is only an introduction to this topic of what about that increasing numbers of mental health patients in United States? What do we do with that? Can we really go into that ancient wisdom and explore it without any prejudice or without any thing like, oh, I have the intellect, that's why I know all answers, which is really totally wrong. And you will discover that you got to calm down that intellect and then really not use it for inner matters. But outer matters is pretty good, but not for the inner matters, right? And then you will explore them and you'll experience them. That's a very important thing. If you read books and then keep the knowledge, that's not it. But if you experience the truth by yourself, that's it. That is very, very important. And that's why it's called realization. That means realize something that's already there. Okay, you have to realize that something already there. So it's not something that is learned or that is brought in outside. No, it is already something within you, that inner abundance. They call that purna. Purna means that which is completely whole, one whole thing. That wholeness came from the wholeness of the universe, and that's why even if you divide it into pieces, it will be whole. Okay, like a sea has water, but then the water, one drop is also water, right? Like that. So once you understand that universal consciousness that is completely fulfilling to you and joyful and blissful to you, once you discover that is you, then all these limitations, all these um, lonelinesses, all this isolation, all this lack of love, they fall off. You become the love, you become the peace, you become the happiness, you become the bliss. Okay, that's the promise of ancient wisdom. Actually, they set out with the goals of atyadika dukkha nivritti. That means enormous amounts of suffering also will be stopped, will be overcome, will be transcended. And the second one is paramananda prapti. Parama means excellent. Ananda means that bliss. Prapti means you get it. Not only you overcome the suffering by understanding, by thinking, going and spending time about. Some people may take decades. Some people may take lifetimes. Some people may take only few years. Some people may take only few days, and some people may get it spontaneously. Okay, that's the self-realization when you can be aware of that inner self, which is glorious, and then you can remain in that, stabilized in that. That's what they are always trying, and there was enormous work done, and I'm very grateful and very um, impressed and really awed by the ancient rishis and yogis and all. So my MD as an internal medicine doctor and my masters in biomedical informatics, they seem to me nothing compared to the knowledge that they had about the biological systems, about our genetic system, about our food and relationships. You name it, you take it. They are far, far, far more superior in their understanding and their quality of life compared to modern people with all the scientific achievements that we had. There is no problem. Science has evolved and developed so many things. But in terms of consciousness, in terms of our inner self, why is there so much health problems in the mental health realm all over the world, and more so in the so-called advanced developed countries, right? That's not really something can deny. It is the fact. But what are we going to do about that? That's why I brought this synergy with ancient wisdom plus practical psychology. This is going to be a series, and I'm going to expose several principles that I compared from ancient wisdom with the practical psychology, with the intention of people can assimilate them better and also improve their psychological life better. That's the intention. It's a very serious endeavor I'm taking on with the hope of we can reach some people and provide them some things they can do by themselves without going to a psychologist or without going to a doctor like me and taking medications. These are all behavioral, ideational, more like understanding that level. Okay, so everybody, if they really look at these things seriously, if they go inward and find out the truths about themselves, they will be much better off. Okay, that's what we are going to do. Hi, Jacob. How are you?
Bonjour. I'm. I've been kind of. I'm a little tired or emotionally tired. I've been a little frustrated today.
Ah,
And that's it. But I also built my first little robot today.
very good.
Yeah,
You got a
just
company. Yeah,
spare parts.
yeah.
It does stuff, and it's pretty cool. I like
Very,
it.
very nice. Yeah, I kind of started a new series on mental health. I almost done actually today. I came at a quarter to six, and then I continued this. But you can listen to the replay if you are interested. But the thing is, I see so much of psychological illness in the country, in the as they talk to the doctors and all that. I know, in as a medical practitioner, we see a lot of depressed people, a lot of anxious people, a lot of relationship problems. So many things come across my way. But in general also, people are not healthy. People are not really well inside. So I was always talking about that. And today I took the comparison of positive psychology versus ancient wisdom, and how things are developing in unison. So if I point out, people may appreciate that better. So I thought I will start. I kind of put my YouTube channel there, Jacob. I would welcome you to go there and then see the video I made on this topic. And I'm going to explore all the features that I talked there in that. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. I
Yeah.
just subscribed right now.
Yeah. And then you'll find a lot of other videos also, but this one is there already. So instead of putting all over, I thought I will place it on the LinkedIn, which I did this morning, but also I placed it on this one. But I'm going to talk about this at least for a week, so that people understand what I'm talking about and what are the essentials they can take home and do that. Okay. It's a question of uh, understanding how to go within, understanding not to be self-obsessive, but self-study, and also pick up the positives about you and reinforce them. That way, in my course, I call about enhancing the human being. This is very much emphasized inner exploration, inner study, and not really blaming yourself for some things you find, and then how you can reconcile them, and then really reinforce yourself with the positives, and that way you come out much more uh, stronger to face the life's challenges. That's what the intention is. Okay. I'm glad you put that robotic. What is supposed to do for you?
It's gonna do more stuff every week, but right now,
Yeah.
I um, I took an electrical board and I put a microcontroller on it, and then
Okay.
I first and then you start inputting AI into it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You attach it to your computer and then you start giving it code. And then
Yeah.
first I just said, make the light blink, and then it made the light blink, and then I have it has magnetic sensors.
Yeah.
And my background magnetism in
Yeah.
this room is around 50 whatever, like watts or something, 50 volts, or I have no idea.
Yeah.
50 magnetic units. And then I said, when it passes the threshold of 55, either
Yeah.
in the positive or the negative region, I want you to flash the light.
Mm.
And then I have a bunch of magnets. And so whenever I put a magnet to the sensor, it flashes. And so,
Yeah.
and then we're going to start making it, we have like these little other pieces that like spin and little motors and stuff. And then eventually I'm going to be able to like power stuff either with a magnet, my phone, or anything. It's going to be
Yeah. Yeah, they are doing a lot of exciting stuff. I'm seeing the waiters in India, bringing all the trays and all the food, serving them, So that was very interesting for that restaurant.
exactly.
Yeah.
All that stuff.
Yeah.
I want to just build random stuff.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be when. It's not why or how, but it is done already. How we are going to prepare those million soldiers, a million, whatever they calls, Elon Musk, he was going to get million robots that are automatic and they are functional independently. And there's a lot of discussion about how to make these robots conscious or not, and I think they will make them more functional, but not the consciousness like I understood. So I differ with that. But there will be more and more stuff done by the robots, and we can use them in the house, and we can do a lot of stuff with the security forces and all that. Yeah, it's going to be changing. I think you are in the right field, Jacob, because robotics is one of the hottest areas growing up anyway, right?
Yeah, it's definitely interesting.
Yeah.
I feel like it's gotten to the point where you can just kind of, it's like Legos.
Yeah.
But it's like really interesting Lego pieces.
Yeah. I think it's 1,000 times more on Legos because Yeah, this one kind of takes on its own life. Once you're going with the robot, you can build it, right? And there's technology now to really make it work, at least for the household purposes, right? So that will be good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Surgical robots.
Yeah.
Maybe I've always dreamed of like lung cleaning nano robots because I'm a smoker.
Yeah.
I'm like, get in there and just clean it.
No, there is a microsurgery that is done in different countries by some of the experts in Germany, Japan, in United States also, because they are much more precise and much more, quicker too. So you can actually stay here and take the scalpel and make a cut on somebody way back somewhere else. So that is really with the speeds that they developed, with the precision they developed, they are able to do a lot of remote surgery. That's very excellent. I managed ICU patients remotely because the camera sees the patient. I can really zoom it to see patients' expressions and patients' breathing, patients' movement, and all that. But the nurse will be there. She would do what I want her to do. Suppose I want the patient to cough, she will ask the patient to cough, and he will do it. And a lot of interviews are done online too. So it's a very exciting field, telemed, because I was one of the, you can say, very, very first one to start, maybe more like a pioneer in this area on telemedicine with my Sony camera and Skype, right? I used to do that because I was doing my practice one week, and another one week I was in the remote hospitals where I had to work as a EMR person and hospitalist, right? So then I had to do office calls from some of the patients came to office because they didn't want to wait that another week. So I used to see them on the camera. So primitive telemedicine worked well for us because lots of times people wanted to be seen, taking the blood pressure, and get their medication renewed, and we used to do that on camera. So, and later on, I moved more into this online consultations. Right now, I do that. A lot of people will show up on the online. You can do a lot of stuff now compared to what I did in 2008. I think I started that. Yeah, I'm excited about the robotics because when my cousin was looking for what are the hottest fields, she went into cybersecurity. But this is another thing that she looked at. So I helped her to go deeper into robotics, at the time.
Yeah, it's it's definitely an exciting field.
Yeah.
I think it's very future. And if you or her or anyone is interested,
Yeah.
To see kind of like how these robots are put together,
Yeah.
Just let me know and I will send you some information.
I think she's now in her master's on cyber security, and then she's still in India, but she plans to come here soon or later. So, anyway, I'm excited about my topic of trying to bring some solace to people who really want to develop this inner resilience to deal with the mental health problems by combining ancient wisdom and positive psychology. I will continue this series for another week, and we'll go from there. Okay. Thank you, Jacob. I'll see you tomorrow.
Wait, you're leaving right now?
Yeah.
Okay. Nice to see you, Dr. Rao. I
Thank
hope you have a wonderful and productive day and weekend.
Okay. Bye bye.
All right, bye.